The first news story is one that I saw, and we've talked about it before in the stages as it's been going on, but this is official. This is actually like they've done this. FX has ordered a What We Do in the Shadows TV series. For those guys who do not know, the show was, or the movie that this is based off of, was released in 2014. It's a vampire mockumentary. It is set in New Zealand, and it starred Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi. You might know that other name because of Thor Ragnarok. He's the director of that. And Jermaine Clement, he is in Legion. Taika Waititi directed the film, and they will serve as co-creators and executive producers on these TV series. Now, with this one movie, it's pretty amazing as to what they've split up and have working in there. There's, I believe, they're still working on the sequel to the film called We're Wolves, which follows the werewolves of New Zealand. And there's also the Wellington Paranormal, a spin-off TV series that will be airing in New Zealand TV very, very soon. And then there is this American adaptation. The stars will be Matt Berry, who is Douglas Renham from the IT Crowd, Kayvon Novak, Natasha Demetrio, and Harvey Guillen. And they're moving this from New Zealand, from, I believe, Auckland, New Zealand, to America, to New York City. And it's just going to be focusing on, much like the movie, it's going to be focusing on these vampires living in the city. And so, I mean, it's really cool. Nick Grad, FX's co-president of original programming, issued this statement here. What We Do in the Shadows only gets better with age, thanks to this brilliant adaptation for television by co-creators Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi. Their feature version was a hilarious, fresh take on the mundanity of everyday life that even immortals must face. We are thankful to them, Paul Sims and Scott Rudin, and this amazing cast for taking us deeper into the shadows with this series. I cannot stress how much I love this movie. I mean, it is brilliantly done. Yeah, can't wait to check that out. Hopefully later in the fall, I don't have to wait a whole year. The next news story is one that I saw by doing research for another story. And this is the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt will end after 4 seasons. Now, this, for people who do not know about this, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was at first going to be a TV series on NBC. It's created by Tina Fey and Robert Carlock, who created 30 Rock. They're also the same creators of Great News over at NBC right now. And this is the show that Ellie Kemper, stars in, I should say, along with Titus Burgess, Jane Krakowski, and Carol Kane. And it's one of those, honestly, I'm going to credit this as one of the Netflix original shows that got me to stay with Netflix. Because, I mean, where House of Cards is great, asterisk with all the stuff about that he did, the guy who plays Frank Underwood, I don't care, I'm not blah, but it's very intriguing. So they're doing this in, I'd almost say AMC fashion, because they're going to break it up into 2 parts. The first, consisting of 6 episodes, will be available on May 30th, and with the remaining 7 episodes premiering at a later date. And yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that I understand why this is happening. I look at shows like the IT Crowd. And I mentioned the IT Crowd before with Matt Berry, but the reason why they canceled that show was because they didn't want it to become a zombie show. They didn't want it to where they're doing the same things over and over and over again. So it makes perfect sense that Ellie Kemper wants to do other things. Jane Krakowski wants to do other things, star in Sonic commercials. I blanked on the name of the product because we don't have Sonic where I live. But whatever it is that they're about to do, Carol Kane wants to go do other product, programs. Titus Burgess wants to go do other stuff. It makes sense to end it now. End it while it's still hot, as opposed to end it on a whimper. The next story is typically done as an Elsewords, because at the time of this recording, I'm recording this on May 3rd. Happy May the 4th be with you to everyone. But this Saturday is the first Saturday in May, which is famously for us nerds, Free Comic Book Day. And I have a few comic books here that I've picked out that, I'm going to try to get myself, but there's a whole list. If you go to freecomicbookday.com/catalog, they'll have a list of the comics, and you can get these. A lot of these you can get for free, I believe, on Comixology, and I believe probably on Sunday or Monday. But you can definitely get a lot of these for free or at a really cheap price at your local comic book shop. We've talked about this before. We talk about this just about every year. This is one of the things that your comic book shop, they buy the comics. So there's certain amounts that they have to get to the gold comics. Certain levels that they got to hit to go. It's a lower goal for silver because that's how it works. And I mean, yeah, there's just a lot of great comic books in here. So the first one I'm going to talk about is one that I really want to pick up, and it's Barrier. This is an Image comic, free comic book solicitation, written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Marcos Martin. This is the same creative team behind The Private Eye over at panelsyndicate.com. Now, if you've never heard of panelsyndicate.com, this is a thing that Brian K. Vaughan started up as a pay what you want service for comic books. So he started off with The Private Eye, where it was, this story that was really good, really intriguing, and you could pay as little or as much as you wanted for the comics. If you wanted to, check out the first issue and get it for free, you could get it for free. You want to pay, $500, $1,000, you could sure as hell pay $500, $1,000. However much you want to do. Cool thing is Barrier was released on panelsyndicate.com as a 5-part miniseries. And the cool part is the first issue is 53 pages. Now, I say that because, for example, I believe Action Comics number 1000 was an 80-page spectacular. So we're talking about, most comic books are about 20 to 24 pages. With ads and stuff in there. Some Image comics can get up to about 30. So we're talking about a double-sized issue that you're going to get for free, for freezies. And the cool thing about this is an unconventional drama about violence, language, and illegal immigration with a shocking sci-fi twist. So you're going to get, like I said, the first 53 pages for free, and then you're going to get the next 4 issues being released weekly through the rest of May. I'm picking this up. I'm adding Barrier to my pull list on Saturday as well, because, I love Brian K. Vaughan's work. I love his stuff on Runaways, on Saga, on The Private Eye. And this is just another great way to support, creators. Next one. Marvel has 2 different offerings here, illustrating 4 different comics that they have. The first one is at the gold level, so I think a lot of people will have it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the Avengers and Captain America first looks, essentially. The Avengers is going to be written by Jason Aaron with art by Sarah Pichelli. And the Captain America book is going to be written by Ta-Nehisi Coates with art by Lionel Francis Yu. Now, this is really cool because you have the artist behind Miles Morales' Spider-Man run, for, I believe, all of it, if not a lot of it, with Brian Michael Bendis coming to do the Avengers and doing amazing work there. And also, Jason Aaron been doing Thor for a good long time, but he's been doing some great comic books there. And, they're teaming up in here, and you flip it over. Ta-Nehisi Coates has been killing it with Black Panther, so much so that for a book that really came out a year before the movie, like not long before the movie got started filming, and had such an influence on that movie. This is great. These are going to be great. The other one is Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. Both of these will have new creative teams with Nick Spencer and Cliff Rathburn joining on as writer and artist respectively. And Nick Spencer is taking over from Dan Slott. He's got big shoes to fill with this. When this comes out, this will either be number 801 or they will do it like an 800.1 or something like that. And then you get the Guardians of the Galaxy issue in there as well, which will be really cool. Next one is Doctor Who, the Free Comic Book Day Doctor Who. This is a 4-part extravaganza here. You have a story with the 10th Doctor, with the stories that they've been setting up. Doctor Who, the comic book, does something really interesting here. They break them up into years. So they've done, like, the 10th and 11th have been done fairly regularly. They broke them up in, like TV seasons and stuff. And it's really cool, really fun how they do it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had fallen out with Doctor Who, but I'm definitely looking at this comic book as well. But you're getting a story with the 10th Doctor, a story with the 7th, a classic story, I would say, with the 7th Doctor and with Ace, a story with the 11th. The 11th Doctor follows his Time Lord taste buds into an all-night diner for madcap meals and unorthodox diplomacy. Plus, with this, you're going to get the complete reader's guide to the Doctor Who comics collection. So it's going to tell you, what to read and all that stuff. And the first appearance in Titan Comics by the 13th Doctor, written and drawn by her new creative team. So that's where I've said, this is really good. If you're wanting to see the tone of what you can expect with the new Doctor, this is going to be your first shot, and it's free. There's the show title. It's free. The next one from Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers special. This is tying in with their series that they got going on right now called Shattered Grid. It's a crossover between Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from Boom Studios and Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers comic series, where you have this Power Ranger from this Tommy, who plays the Green Power Ranger and the White Power Ranger, from an alternate dimension where he is evil. He is known as Lord Drakon. And you're going from there. I've been seeing this a lot. I have it. So I can't speak too much to if this is a great jumping on point or if this is bonus stuff. I want to say, since it is, again, Free Comic Book Day, that it's probably going to be a jumping on point for the series. The next one is Ghost in the Shell Global Neural Network. This is coming to us from Kodansha Comics. This is the setup for an anthology series. This is featuring great writers: Alex DeCampi, Becky Cloonan, Brandon Fletcher, Max Gladstone, David Lopez, LRNZ, Koi Pham, Genevieve Valentine, and so many more people. And this first issue, you are following Major Kusanagi as she, reunites with people who shouldn't be there. They should be dead. It sounds really cool. This is one that I'm gonna be looking out for. If you like the cartoon, you like the movie, Ghost in the Shell, you're a Ghost in the Shell fan, check this out. And the final one is Street Angel's Dog. This is written by Jim Rugg and Brian Maruka with art by Jim Rugg. Basically, it was the premise that got me. You're following Jessie Street Angel Sanchez and her new dog, Pal, as they go on a rampage of fun. They play dress up, skateboard, fight ninjas, skateboard, fight monsters, race robot cars to the death, fight bullies, and teach each other the value of family. It's Jessie's 4th best day ever. Unfortunately, even 4th best days must come to an end. Don't worry, the dog lives. I love that part. Don't worry, the dog lives. Like, we've seen enough shit here. We need to know that nothing's going to go bad. But yeah, that's Free Comic Book Day. There's plenty more comics. I barely scratched the surface. But, so like I said, freecomicbookday.com/catalog will get you the list of comics. And also you can go from there. You can find if your local comic book shop is participating. But that'll do it for the news. And we will be right back.
For more on this Galactic Network podcast, go to gncast.com. That's GNCASTS.com.